and then do the intro.
Okay, so welcome everyone to our March acquisition special interest group meeting. What our plan for today is that we will demonstrate EDI ordering from 2 different libraries and 2 different vendors. So you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like in the different forms that it can take based on, you know, what your library wants and things like that. So Michelle is going to demonstrate ordering from Baker and Taylor, and then Holly will demonstrate from ordering EDI from Ingram, and if time allows, we've got a Midwest tape order as well, so you can see 3 different vendors. So are there any questions before we get started? Okay, then Michelle, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to show you how we order from Baker and Taylor. Let me share my screen. And it is this one. Sure. All right. Does everyone see everything fine?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So first, I'm going to look for my vendor in the Koha acquisition section. And I'm going to click on new basket, get it all ready to go. And then I'm going to go over to my Baker and Taylor section of their website. And I have the librarians create their baskets and then they send them to us. And they're going to be here in my received folder, if you can see that. And then I have 2 baskets pending and I have one saved specifically for today. So I'm going to click into this. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand my grids because I have to make sure everything is done appropriately, because sometimes things sneak in that shouldn't be there. So here we have 2 items, or a quantity of 2 going to the downtown branch. Our phone code is the Teen Book 2021. The collection code is Fiction. It's a teen book under the shelf location. Our Koha I type is Book. And of course, the -1 ordered status, and the order is Tech Services, which is me. And so I'm going to go down and make sure everything looks good. Another quantity of 2, quantity of 1. So then I scroll up to the very top of the page.
But who knows, right? So
Right.
I tell the girls at the desk.
Oh, sorry, I thought someone was saying something. All
And
right.
then
Gonna download my cart. Going to choose my correct ordering profile. I have a couple other ones, but this is the one that will bring the grids over. And I'm going to make sure it says downloaded because I want to make sure I downloaded it. And I don't repeat my work and order things twice. And hit save. And then save my file. Okay. Doesn't pop up on the recording. And then I go back to my basket that I got started. I'm going to call it today's date. And it is a Teen Fic cart. So TFIC. And save. I'm going to add to the basket from a new file. And browse for it. And there it is. Open. Upload. I also call it the exact same thing I just called it. And I know a lot of libraries do use Marc Mod templates here, but we do not on ordering unless it's like a DVD order that has extra stuff that comes in. And I want to have it match on the ISBN. And I do not want it to overlay because we do not separately order added copies from new records. So I don't want to replace my existing record with an order record. And of course, I always want to add my record just in case. And I want to always add my items. I'm going to hit stage for import. And it thinks about it. Okay, I'm going to add my stage files to the basket. And I'm going to select all to see everything. So as you can tell here, we have a quantity of 2. It's going to have my home branch, which will be the 975A and B. We have our I type, which is the 975Y. We have our location. So we do our geographic location as teen, adult, or child instead of having it built into the collection code, which is different from a lot of libraries, which I found. That would be under the 975A. Our collection code, of course, is 975C. Our not for loan ordered, which is 975-7. We have our fund code right here, which is 975U, and we have our prices come in automatically. We don't use the Koha discount percentage because I want exactly how much we're going to pay and how much the MSRP is right off the bat. So our budgets look exactly what they are, because we've had issues in the past of thinking we had more money than we had because we were only looking at the MSRP and then messing things up. So then we're going to scroll down and make sure everything looks good one last time. And it is. So I'm going to hit save. And there's this right now. All of this is pre-filled for your staff. And we're going to click create edit fact order. We're going to choose the correct ordering account. And we're going to hit send EDI order. And yes, I am sure. And that away that goes over to Baker and Taylor. And if you click over here in the left-hand side of your screen that says edit fact messages, you can also see here, if you have EDI set up, of course, that it did send or it didn't send. And it takes a while sometimes. And apparently we're gonna, there it goes. As you can see, it's pending. And there you go. And that is how you would order something from Baker and Taylor. Oh, and of course, you go back and you get out of your cart so you don't, reorder on accident because someone started talking to you, which has happened. I'm gonna move it to my completed folder so I know I've done it, and it's no longer in my to-do list. I only have one cart left now. And any questions for me? That kind of went a little bit fast. Well, we don't have the chat up.
I think that you mentioned when we talked before that you don't have receiving set up. Is that right?
Not, we did set it up, but it hasn't started yet.
Okay.
They are still, it looks like from the status report we got last week, another 3 weeks of back ordered items that have to go through before I get to experience the EDI invoicing portion of Baker and Taylor, which I am excited to see. Why can't I see?
Question. When did you, this is Victoria from Altadena Night Morning. When did you start using EDI?
It was predating me working in tech services, which would have been at least 6 years ago, at least. And we had a very basic form of it. And I remember in a more recent Koha upgrade, when a more standardized version of EDI came out, it broke our original one and we had to completely recreate it from scratch.
Okay.
But I have noticed that our setup is a little bit different than other libraries with the geographical location. I've heard that Ingram cannot do that.
No, we use Baker and Taylor as well. We started in 2017.
Okay.
I do have the receiving part of it with the invoicing. And the only thing that I just actually changed from looking at the way you do is we folded our processing fees with the materials budgets. So I have added the processing fee to the accounts. So now when I order the items, it includes that as well, so that selectors can keep track of the money.
Interesting, because we were told we couldn't get that as part of EDI invoicing. We could, so right now I am, when I get my paper invoice, I manually put in, as you can see right here, that I can't, the little, my face is blocking my, move that over. Where is it? So I had to manually put in my taxes here myself and my processing fees. I don't have it brought over in the invoice that we were informed. But if you have got it, I would love to see how you did that so I can bring it to Bywater and say, hey, Can I
Yeah,
have?
actually, it's on the BNT side on Title Source 360. If you go to the accounts,
Mm-hmm.
there's a section there when you can add the processing fee for each item.
Nice. You are the best. Thank you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put a note to myself.
If you want to reach out to me later, I can send you like screenshots on where to find that. And,
Thank you so much. See, this is why I want to do this. Because all of these tips that would come out that no one knows about until you see how other people do it.
and then you can get on once you start getting your invoices as well. This is something that which has recently changed as well, was include the processing fee with the materials on the same invoice. That way, you know how we get two different invoices, one for materials and one for processing. Well, now I'm only getting one because they invoice by PO.
Yep. Thank you so much. Yeah. That. Bring up to my boss. Perfect. All right. Any other questions or great tips? And if not, I'm gonna hand it back to Rhonda. And I'm gonna stop share. Oh, not stop share. There it is.
There we go. Yeah, so that is one example of EDI with Baker and Taylor. Now, oh, Holly's the right way around now. So Holly was going to demonstrate how we have set up with Ingram. I'm just working through something, trying to decide if we should show people the mark fields to order and the mark item fields to order, just to show how that kind of stuff gets passed. So I'm getting a thumbs up from Margaret. Holly, do you know where that is, or shall I show them where that is?
Yeah, you're going to want to show them.
Okay. Let me pull it up first, and then we will do that. Because this will be true for both, for any vendor that you have set up for EDI. You'll want to, let's see, how would I search on that? Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen. Oh. Okay. So can you all see this Koha screen? I don't see my red line around it, but hopefully you can.
Yep.
All right.
Can see it.
Okay, good. So I searched in the system preferences for Marc, and it pulls up these two preferences in the acquisitions. And so the Marc fields to order, if you click on that, this will set up it's listed right here. You can use the following fields: price, quantity, budget code, discount, sort 1 and sort 2. And this you tell, you're basically telling Koha where to look for these pieces of information from the record that's coming in. So this would be like for the brief record that comes in. For us, it's the 970 because that's a holdover from our previous ILS version. But you can pick any field in your Marc record to tell that you want something there. So we have, I think this is our notes field, goes into sort 2, that kind of thing. Now this Marc, those are bib level kinds of things. Oops. These right here are for item level information. So if you have grid set up, which we saw with Michelle, she had grid set up, and you'll see with Holly too, that they're grid set up so that you can specify, this item goes to the main branch, this item goes to East branch, this item goes to West branch, whatever your branches are called. And this is how you would set that kind of thing up. So whatever gets set. So you work with the vendor to have, let me just show you in Ingram where this is. Can you still see what I'm doing? I think I picked the whole desk or the screen so that you can see this. But if you go into in the Ingram world, if you go into iPage account settings and then Marc setup, hopefully that's the right password. You can see this is where you set up, from the, the permanent location will go, you tell Ingram the permanent location goes into the 970A and the notes goes into the 970N and the, not for loan status goes into the 970W. You set all this stuff up on the Ingram side so that it gets past all of this 970 stuff is what gets put into the brief record that gets sent to you. And I'm sure that Baker and Taylor will have that same kind of information. So you can pick, there it is, add. So you put stuff in here, basically. You put your tag, your subfield, and then there's this whole selection of different things that you can assign to it. And then if you want to put a note or something like that, and then you can create, that's how you create those in Ingram. So that's how you set this up so that you come back to Koha and say, okay, that 970G we set up for price. So if I look at 970G, I can see that it's putting the price from Ingram into the 970G field. So that's how that magically, seemingly, gets set up. That's how Ingram and Koha are talking to each other. So that may have totally confused people or clarified. But I was always curious how stuff got from one vendor to the other. So it's these two preferences in acquisitions, the Marc fields to order and the Marc item fields to order that you need to set up. And I will stop sharing. And then I'm going to, any questions about that? Okay, I think I successfully confused everyone. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Holly and she can demonstrate can you show the final Marc overlay? Can you show how the final Marc overlays the order record? Holly, do you want to, we can do that later on in the process and stuff, but yes, we can do that. And if you can just kind of highlight those kinds of things when we pull that stuff in. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, now I can't. I can't, yeah, now I can't hear you. You were real clear when you said, can you hear me? Try, talk again. Do you want to just run over, do you have everything set up on your computer? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Run over to you and
Okay.
Oh, you just came through.
Yeah, that just came through. I don't know what the deal is. Do you have headphones or anything? Nope. Okay. All right, she's going to come over here by me, and we'll demonstrate it from here. And, go from there. All right. Any other? Well, she's literally right next door, so this won't take long. But I do need to put my mask on now, and I will. So, can you still hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to turn the driver's seat over to Holly. Yeah, I know. It's just weird. It just kind of comes in and out.
We'll stay masked for
Yes.
safety. All right. So I'm gonna assume you have everything up here.
Sort of. Yeah. So,
Okay.
oh yeah, I've got Ingram here
Okay.
and Koha there. And
And as me, is that-
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't want to work that way. That's okay. I'll be you today.
Okay.
Okay. So is your screen still shared?
No.
No. Okay. Let's go ahead and share screen.
So I did screen 2.
Okay.
And then share.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. Okay. So I am just gonna do something real quick.
Oh, I've got like a
1,000
things.
downloads, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's click those out. Can I delete everything? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. So we are going to show you how we do our EDI ordering with Ingram or on iPage. So we've got an order that we are ready to send. Go ahead and scroll down here and find it. Okay. So this is our list that we've got. I already went through earlier today, made sure everything was correct. I'm going to do a quick duplicate check. I didn't do that. Double check real quick that we haven't ordered anything that we don't have any dupes in here. Okay, we're good. All right. So like we talked about earlier with grids, some of these books are probably already gridded on an individual level, but I'm going to put an over grid, one bigger grid that's just a sort of general. So these are all going to be adult nonfiction new for us. And we're going to apply our template and we want to keep our quantities. And that's all we need to do here. And then we're just going to go ahead and download our records. And that is already set for what we want. So go ahead and download those. Ooh, I don't usually get that one.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just go ahead and, I guess, no, that's not what I want at all. No.
Okay. Just say save file.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and save file and see.
Yeah, and then just save.
Save. Okay. All right. I'm gonna come over here. All right, so then we're going to go to Koha and we're going to go to our acquisitions module. And we're going to find Ingram as our vendor. And we're going to make a new basket for those records. And pick our contract for that.
And you may have noticed that when Michelle did it, she didn't pick a contract at this stage, but ours is set up to do that.
Okay, and pop over here, and I'm gonna stage those Marc records.
Question, is the contract number your account number?
It is our account with Ingram that we're ordering on, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just adding my initials. And that's our import template.
Yeah, so Michelle, their library doesn't use an import template. We do have a template where we add on order after the title, just to make it easier for customers to know that that's actually on order. It's not something that's in the library, and a couple other little tweaks to it.
Okay. And we are going to set it to ISBN strict matching. And we're going to add incoming record and add incoming record. And we always just click no for embedded item record data. And then we stage.
So one thing that we also do different than Roseville or Michelle is we have separate accounts for new stuff and for duplicates. And so if the record is in this order that we've got, we're pretty confident that it's a new record, and we're not going to overlay an existing record. With the dupe account, we set it up a little bit differently.
Yeah, and you see we've caught one already that
Oh,
there may be something to look at here. So we're going to add to basket, and we're going to do it from a staged file. And it's going to be those records right here at the top that we just staged. We're going to add our orders.
So we have a question in the chat. Can you please also show me your ACK import template at the end so that we can see what it looks like?
okay.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. And then we're going to select all. And then we're going to scroll down real quick through these. And I'm going to look at that one that pinged. But so far, everything's looking good. As we're scrolling down, it'll show our branch. We're not a system, we just have us. Our item type is, they're all going to be new 14-day checkouts. Location is adult new fiction, second floor. Not for loan, it's ordered. That's going to show in the record. So patrons, as Ronda was saying, don't get confused. Oh, there it is. I'm seeing one that's pinging on a record that we have. And it's showing that we have this book and that it's available. So maybe we don't want to order again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to actually send this order right now, which was our plan.
Well, you can just unclick that one.
No,
Okay.
it'll duplicate everything in the mix. It's a bad glitch. Don't do that.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to delete all these and just we'll do it again.
Okay.
It's fine. But we can still show you how we get to the end here. So we're not going to send this order because we found something that we already own in here. We don't want to buy it again, but we are going to get to it. So, and this looked a little similar to Baker and Taylor, but so this is what it would look like. The next thing I would do would be to hit create edit fact order. I'm not going to do that because we have something in here we don't want, but this is what it looks like. This is all of our items, 44 items, same as iPage, just double checking all the quantities and numbers is what I would do. And then the last step would be to hit the create edit fact order, which I'm not going to do. And it will pop up and it'll ask you to confirm the contract number, and then we would send it. And then you also wanted to do Midwest tape.
So the cancel order hyperlink on that screen would not actually cancel the order and allow you to proceed with the editfact button clicking.
So
is that what I caught you saying?
So in my experience, what happens when once I've got the records in there, if I try to change anything, like delete one and send it, it's not going to work. It's I don't know what the glitch is, but anytime I've caught something in there that pings on a record, we don't actually want it. I just delete those records. I go back to iPage, I delete it. I just do it fresh.
That sounds like a bug to me, and we should probably fix that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's show them the acquisitions template.
Okay, do you want to, I'll let you get in here for
Okay.
that.
I'll drive for this one. All right. I'll just use this. Oh Lord. I always have to remember where these templates are.
Fourth one up from the bottom.
There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Because you set these up once and then you never have to go back again. So it's like every time you come in. So here is our acquisition import template. And then if we look at the actions, so what we have is update existing or add new field. So we add a 254, so field B, with the value on order if 250, sorry, dyslexic, 245 B does not exist. So this adds on order in caps to the brief opaque display. And then this is kind of redundant. That's just kind of a safety check, safety valve in case we forget to do that. And then I'm not sure what that's doing. But basically moving something from the 970C to the 952.8, which I think is the branch or something like that. I forget. But it's moving it from wherever we told Ingram to put it to where Koha can find it. And that
anyone in the audience know what the 952.8 is off the top of their head?
you'll get a gold star.
Catalogers. Yep. Or whoever can look it up the fastest.
Yeah, that's right. You'll get my magic red book here. So our collection code. Okay, that's what that was. So it's moving it, the collection code into the collection code field. So that's, this is the main thing that we have that sets, adds that on order. So what that looks like in the OPAC is, oh Lord, I'm just going to search. And so it looks like this. It's, whatever the title on order. And our we had that in our last catalog, and our customers are kind of used to that. So we added it here just to make the change from one ILS to another a little less jarring for them.
I actually never noticed that before, but it's definitely a way to stop the questions about when will, where is this book in their tracks.
Right.
You just have to finish reading the title.
Yeah. And then, we also, and then we also have ordered here, and, you know, it's obviously not a very complete record. Just the bare basics.
And it's available for holds, which
Right.
is really low.
Yeah. So customers really love the fact that they can put holds on items before they actually get to the library. And we like that because we can tell ahead of time if something is going to be more popular than we guessed it was going to be. Like Netflix all of a sudden decides to make a series out of it and everybody wants to watch whatever. So there is that. Was there? Oh, and there was a question about overlaying the records. The-
Yeah, the ACQ.
Yeah.
the one at the CQ.
Yeah. So, do you want to show them? Like that's part of, okay, so when we get the file, we get a file from Ingram that has the complete MARC records in it. Then we import them. And Jason actually does that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I just set it to the ACQ. He does the actual downloading of the record.
Okay. So we basically, so when we ordered it, we specified, let's see if I can find, let's see. Oh, receive shipments. No. Ingram baskets. Let's do that. I'm just going to do a pretend new basket. Nope, this isn't going to do it, is it? Okay, I'll have to go a little further, right? And, okay. So when I add something from, I'm just going to say a new file. Oh. Rats.
Yeah, we have those in the records.
I got to have something to do. Is that Mark one still there? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say add to basket from a new file. And then I'll browse and pick this one and open it and upload. All right. So in here, when we receive the new, the full records, this is how we determine what needs, how it's going to look, how it's going to match on stuff. So we'll set this to the bib number because we have the bib, Ingram knows the bib number, so they'll match on that bib number. And then if matching record found is replace the existing record with the incoming record. So there we're replacing the brief record with the new record, which also has more item information in it as well. And then if no match found, then we just add the incoming record. So this part right here, when you're when you're adding, you get the file that has all of the MARC records in it, and then you do the same process to add them to the catalog, and you're not ordering them, that you're just pulling them in. And so you will use this right here for how to match. So you can see we've got lots of different options in here. We discovered through the School of Hard Knocks. What was it? The Midwest tape. We needed to do, which one was it? Loose?
For IS, actually for Midwest tape, it's the
ISSN?
the $024 sign.
Oh, this one. Okay. So we use that to match
For
on,
DVDs and music CDs.
okay. But we had to sort of experiment and figure out which one was the best match for it, and then to get our matches. Because when we stage for import, like we saw when Holly did it, you know, it will flag certain things as a match or not, and then you can go and look at those that are matches and see what you can do. So is that helpful? Does that answer the question?
Rhonda, while you were talking, we got a bunch of questions in chat. So if you want to read them off, or I can read them to you.
Okay, go ahead and read them because it'll take me a while to figure out where they are.
Sure thing. So the first one, quote, so you receive order record and bibliographic record separately. You import order record with a brief bibliographic description and then overlay it with a full Marc record and bibliographic record. Is that the right sequence of events?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we get the brief one at the time that we order. We get the brief record. And then when the order has been fulfilled and they send us the invoice, then we also will get a file. They'll send us a file with the full records at that time. So that could be, you know, a week or 2 weeks later, or if we're unfortunate, you know, a month or something like that, or whatever it is. You know, if we order things far enough ahead, you know, it could be a couple months. But yes, that is exactly what we do.
All right. Next question. How do you get the items to overlay the ordered items? So I think that's your items overlaying matching rules.
Yes.
You want to touch on that?
Okay. So
The ISBN strict, which is what we did with the Ingram one. That's for new things, or things we think are new. Like in our example, we caught something that we hadn't had. So if we're ordering duplicates, then we go
loose.
ISBN loose, and then the second choice would be to add incoming record, ignore and process anyway.
Okay.
Or is that the one? Ignore.
Yeah.
Ignore incoming record and process. And then the second one is to just add incoming record. So ideally it will, in that scenario, we want it to ping off the record we have and use that to order off of.
Right. So just to make sure that we're answering the question. So we look for, the reason we use strict is it's actually going to look at like the first ISBN number and compare those. Loose, you know, sometimes you can have this string of ISBNs that, you know, paperback, hardback, whatever, you know. So it will compare to all of those to see if we've got something, because we could have the hardback and now we're ordering the paperback, but we still want that. Sometimes we just throw those on the same record. Don't tell any catalogers that. So that's the difference there. And then, so the record that comes from Ingram has a 952 in it. And all those things that all those things that I showed you before with, you know, the Marc fields to order and the Marc item fields to order, those are set up ahead of time, and we'll put information in the 952. And then you also work with your vendor to make sure that the stuff that's in that 952 gets sent in the full record as well. Because what we're doing is setting up for the brief record, but we want it set up for sent in the full record. So it's all stuff that you work with your vendor, and get that set up correctly. And then when you overlay, you've got a MARC record. Shoot, I wish I had an example. But you have a MARC record that has however many items you've ordered. They've got 952s for each item that you've ordered in that MARC record from Ingram. And so that's how your item information gets in there. Does that answer the question?
I believe that question was from jcoughlin. So if you want to chime in.
I see a yes from Jay.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. And you did incidentally answer the following question, which is what's the difference between ISBN loose and ISBN strict, unless you want to go into more detail with that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. So next up in the list of questions is to overlay, will you use the matching rules and also the Marc modification template to get rid of the 245 field that has that dash dash on order?
Yeah, so when the new full record comes in, it doesn't have that dash dash on order in it in the title field. So when we overlay the full record onto the brief record, that goes away. We don't really need to use the modification template because we'll get whatever Ingram sends to us, and that doesn't have the on order subfield B or whatever we set it up to be.
Not seeing a yes in or an okay in chat yet, but I mean, that sounds reasonable to me. So the last question I see that we haven't touched on yet is, what does the matching rule look like for ISBNs?
That we had to talk with the Koha or Bywater developers to have them explain to us what the matching rules were. There's not really any place I can go and show you what they're matching on. It's kind of, well, I mean, it's probably deep in the bowels of the API or whatever for EDI. But what we did was we just kind of put in a ticket and said, okay, what does this matching rule do? What does this matching rule do? What does this matching rule do? What are they specifically doing? And that's how we learned about, we just had one ISBN matching rule before. And that's how we figured out that, we were getting some strange matches and not matches, in times when we weren't expecting them. And so we ended up working with Bywater to create a new, and Kyle had to do all this for us. He had to create those matching rules for us. So.
Can you show us though? I'd be super excited to see it. If you go into administration and then there's a record matching rules area.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm going to learn something here. Tools.
I think it's under
admin?
administration. Okay. Yeah.
Those two are like.
And then on the right under catalog, record matching rules. It's like there-ish. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was there.
So I'd be interested.
Always made Kyle do it.
They're very complicated. So I'm just interested to see what your strict looks like versus your loose, maybe.
Okay, so strict. Oh, okay. So match point 1 is ISBN, and you need a score of 1,000. So that's a total match. And then the tag, of course, is the 20A. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Strict is you match strictly on the ISBN. You got to do a score 1,000. All right, so the moose, all right, it doesn't have that additional check down here. So we just have the one match point, 1,000. Huh. Okay. That's like not what I expected, but because we've got okay. This is all being recorded, so I'll just kind of hang out here for a minute and you can look at it and pause the recording. And this is the required match checks. And then the other one just has this part here, the match point, and not the required match checks. So, learn something new every day. Okay. Is that okay? We hear a resounding yes from Cecilia. All right. Oh, I think we probably don't have enough time to do Midwest, or do you want to do it real quick? Do you, okay, we can, does anybody have any additional questions? Otherwise, we'll do a real quick run through of Midwest, ordering something from Midwest.
Well, I do have to get running soon, but I want to make sure we give a big round of applause to Michelle and Holly and Rhonda for demoing this and having it recorded in front of a live audience, and to Holly for doing that on a computer that isn't even her own. Good job, everyone. Very brave.
Yes.
Awesome work.
Yes. Okay.
And there's some interest in maybe revisiting this in a future meeting. So, you know.
Yeah, we could do some receiving and just see, you know, so what happens is the invoices get sent, the electronic invoices get sent to an FTP server, and then Koha, you know, goes and checks every once in a while and will suck in any invoices from there. And the receiving is done automatically behind the curtain, if you will. You wake up one morning and come into work and things have been received. So it's usually, well, the invoices get sent at the same time that they ship the boxes out. So the receive actually takes place maybe 5 days before we actually get whatever it is that we've ordered. So our receive date will be a little bit ahead of when the stuff is actually in the building. And we could look, just for giggles, we could look at, go to acquisitions and wait, okay. And then do Ingram. So we don't go in here and use this receive shipments thing. It's just all done under, right, for non-EDI.
Yes.
Yeah, we will use it for non-EDI, but for EDI orders, we don't need to use that. We can look at invoices and wait and wait and wait. Wow.
If you click on invoices, it can be all the invoices for everyone.
Oh, it doesn't just limit it to, oh, okay. Okay, so here is an invoice. We'll just pick one. Here, oh, it moved on me. So we can look at this invoice and we can see that these are the items. We're receiving with the various vendors on the next meeting, so we have more time. Yes, we will definitely do that. But this is what a Koha invoice looks like, and you can compare it to your print or whatever you get. One thing that Michelle kind of talked about too was the processing cost. We don't, in Texas, we don't have to pay tax, so we don't track tax at all. But we have the processing cost. I think this field usually says shipping cost or something. We had them magically CSS it or something. And we put our processing costs in that field. So the invoice will reflect, here's the total of the items and here's the total plus adjustments plus, and here it's still called shipping cost, but it's really the processing cost. So that's $2 more. That's how we do that. So yeah, I think we're sort of running out of time, but what we can do next month is we can look at receiving and go into that a little more in depth. And that is good. Okay.
Great cliffhanger.
Okay.
Come back next month if you want to see more.
That's right. That's right. We've borrowed from Hollywood and we've got a cliffhanger here. What will happen next? And there we go. So if anybody has a question that they would like to throw out to the group, we can always talk about it offline. Don't forget about the listserv group. Throw questions out there. Yeah, and always happy to help. During the month, if you have a question, just send me an email. We can work something out, find somebody to do something. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Yeah, that's right.